Hello, onegaishimasu. Japanese language can be tricky with many different options. Here's a guide to help you know the right way to thank someone. If you want a foolproof way of saying thank you, use doumo arigatou gozaimasu. If you've studied Japanese a little, you are likely to have heard all three of these words, but it's rarely made clear as to how they work. It breaks down into doumo, meaning something like the word very, arigatou, showing gratitude, and gozaimasu, where the U is normally silent, and it shows that you are being humble. By using the whole phrase, you're being very polite, and so it's best to use it in very formal situations, or where you want to make it clear that you are truly grateful. An English equivalent would be, "Thank you very much, you shouldn't have." The Japanese have different ways of abbreviating this phrase, and this is where a lot of the confusion and arguing about language normally happens. However, we're going to break this down into just two ways: shortening for speed and shortening for respect. By shortening for speed, we can start by dropping the word gozaimasu. Without showing how humble we are, we've got to be careful that we're not saying this phrase to someone we're not friends with. If we say doumo arigatou to people above us, such as managers, teachers, or people we don't know very well, it can be very rude. However, with close family or friends, it still shows a lot of gratitude, similar to the English phrase, "thanks a lot." In fact, for those everyday trivial matters, you can just say the word doumo on its own, and listeners would understand that you're referring to the whole phrase. If your best friend passed you a pair of chopsticks, doumo is probably all you need. If you were to just say doumo when they've done something really important for you, it would obviously be rude, and it would make sense to say the whole phrase in full. By shortening for respect, this means that we're subtly, or not so subtly, showing how superior or inferior we think we are in a situation. You would normally only say doumo arigatou gozaimasu if the emperor gave you a gift or your boss gave you an unexpected bonus. You'll hear most Japanese people leave off the first word doumo and simply say arigatou gozaimasu. By leaving in the gratitude and humility, it has that old world English sound of "thank you kindly" or "I'm truly grateful," which we've mostly lost but the Japanese have kept. This is the best way to say thanks in most situations, especially with strangers or people who outrank you. It's also why customer service people use it a lot. In the West, we often think that arigato is the way to say thank you. However, as we've examined, the gozaimasu part means that you see yourself as inferior, whether you actually are in the situation or are merely being polite. Without gozaimasu, we are implying that we are superior, so we have to be very careful in using it. It is seen as very informal, so using it with children, or perhaps students or employees, is possible, but it does have that rudeness element. I would advise not using it unless you are actually staying in Japan and got a feel for when it's appropriate. If you ever hear the word gozaimashita instead of gozaimasu, then you're merely using the past tense. Gozaimashita. Most actions that require thank you are finished in a matter of seconds, but if you've eaten at a restaurant or attended a class, or want to thank a person for something they did earlier or some time before, time has passed, and so you should say arigatou gozaimashita or doumo arigatou gozaimashita. I hope this video helped you. Please like and share it with others if it's been useful for you. Feel free to use the annotations to rewatch this or some of my other videos, or to visit my channel. Doumo arigatou gozaimasu.